When you think tech hubs, certain big cities probably spring to mind.
Mm-hmm. The usual suspects.
Right. But what if the next big thing is kind of bubbling up somewhere else, like, say, Cairns, Australia?
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. There's this really interesting event happening there, April 30th.
Okay.
And it's all about this convergence, this mix of actual physical hardware and, well, AI. They're calling it physical AI.
Physical AI. Okay, I like that term. So our mission today, for everyone listening, is basically to unpack this event.
Yeah, pull out the important bits, the interesting stuff, give you a real sense of what's going on in this innovation space up in Northern Australia.
And it's not just some random local thing, right? You mentioned it connects to bigger trends.
Absolutely. The motivation, the whole idea behind it really ties into these broader shifts in physical AI, stuff that, even the CEO of NVIDIA is talking about. It's gaining real momentum.
Okay, cool. So our sources here are mainly the info about the event itself, physical AI, where hardware meets intelligence.
Yeah.
Hosted by the Cairns AI Hub and the GCU Ideas Lab.
Yep. And we've also got that background context, the stuff highlighting why physical AI is becoming such a big deal, including those NVIDIA insights you mentioned.
Great. So let's get into it. This physical AI event in Cairns. What's the kickoff? What's actually happening on the 30th?
Well, a really key piece is the launch of the Cairns City chapter of Global Hardware Meetups.
Ah, okay. Global hardware meetups. That sounds significant.
It is, because right away it plugs Cairns into this worldwide network that's focused specifically on hardware innovation.
Right, not just software, the physical stuff.
Exactly. And the fact that it's the Cairns AI Hub and the JCU Ideas Lab working together, that really shows the local energy, the collaboration happening there.
And the title itself kind of spells it out.
It does. Physical AI where hardware meets intelligence. Pretty clear focus on that fusion.
So it sounds like they've got some momentum. Who's actually driving this? Who are the key people we should know about?
Right. It's not just an idea. There are people making it happen. The main discussion, the panel, it's being moderated by Dr. Samantha J. Horseman.
Okay, and her role?
She's the HDR Innovation and Industry Lead, HDR.
Yeah.
That usually points to higher degree research, so she's likely focused on that R&D leadership, bridging research and industry.
Makes sense. And the panel itself, who's on it?
It's a really interesting mix. First up, Dr. Stephanie Baker. She's a senior lecturer at James Cook University, focusing on electronic systems and IoT engineering.
So IoT, Internet of Things, very relevant.
Very. Her work is about empowering the next generation of engineers who will be building these systems. So you've got that education pipeline angle right there.
Yeah, you absolutely need the people coming through with the right skills. Who else is on the panel?
Then there's Mike Black. He's the founder of a company called Rainstick.
Rainstick, what do they do?
They're into some pretty cutting-edge stuff. Deep tech, bioelectrics, specifically for agriculture.
Deep tech. So serious science or engineering breakthroughs behind it.
That's the idea. It's a great example of physical AI being applied to solve, real-world problems in a key sector like ag.
Interesting. Okay, who else?
Darren McCormack. He's the manager of the Cairns Manufacturing Hub. So he brings that practical, how do we actually make this stuff perspective, scaling it up.
Crucial link from idea to product.
Definitely. And rounding it out is Dr. Alan Lewis. He's with Energy Queensland, part of their MIST group.
MIST?
Yeah, Materials and Infrastructure Science and Technology. His focus is on advancing sustainable energy tech, so another vital area for the region.
Wow. Okay, so you've got education, deep tech, ag, manufacturing, and energy. That's quite a lineup.
It really is. A diverse set of viewpoints covering some really critical industries for Cairns in Northern Australia.
It definitely sounds like they're deliberately trying to get these different sectors talking, seeing where the overlaps are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more than just the panel, right? I think you mentioned presentations, updates.
That's right. After the main discussion, they've got several key professional groups giving updates, talking membership.
Like who?
Well, you'll hear from Joe Guo, who founded ACETS, that's the Australian Creative Electronics Society.
Okay.
Then Dr. Yang Du, representing the IE.
The big one, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers.
Yep. And Dr. Kranthi Adanki for the ACS Cairns chapter, Australian Computer Society.
Got it.
And finally, Ben Bowden from the Cairns Engineering Society.
So really covering the key technical and professional bodies.
Exactly. It shows they're trying to build that professional community, foster those connections, not just have a one-off talk.
Yeah, it feels less like just a conference and more like building a community.
That seems to be the goal.
And what about the more hands-on stuff? I saw something about lab tours, demos.
Yes. This is where it gets really practical. There's going to be a tour of the JCU Ideas Lab Makerspace.
So like a workshop space, tools, collaborative area.
Pretty much. And also their KV.
KVE.
Yeah.
What's a KV in this context? Sounds immersive.
It likely is. It usually stands for Cave Automatic Virtual Environment. Think like a room-sized, high-end virtual reality setup. Great for visualization, design, that kind of thing.
Cool. Who's involved with that part?
Dr. Eric Wang, Kim Bender, and Albert Jindra are mentioned for the tour aspect. Plus, they'll have members from IoT Engineering and the Cairns Engineering Society showing off projects there, too.
Okay. And the demos?
Those are happening in the Atrium and Ideate space.
Absolutely.
Real physical AI demos and showcases, actual examples you can see and maybe interact with.
Any names attached to those demos?
Yep, they list Adam Kropp, Jard Snow, Clive Payton, Andres Ruiz, and Dr. Bruce Belson. Again, projects from IoT engineering students and Cairns Engineering Society members.
Sounds like a great chance to see what this physical AI actually looks like in practice.
For sure. And a nice little bonus for people actually there in person.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing a prize draw. 2 complimentary memberships up for grabs, one for IE and one for ACS.
Ah, neat. Good way to get people to sign up, join the community officially.
Definitely a smart incentive.
So, stepping back to the panel discussion itself, what are the big questions they're planning to tackle? The key themes.
They've laid out several core areas. Firstly, really digging into Cairns' specific role in renewables and decarbonization.
Which makes sense, given the location and, global focus on climate.
Absolutely. It's a big opportunity for the region. Secondly, they'll be talking about that next-gen IoT engineering and the whole education to industry pipeline.
Right, the skills gap issue we touched on. How do you prepare the workforce?
Exactly. That's a huge piece of the puzzle for any emerging tech field.
What else is on the agenda?
They're also looking at opportunities coming from the Future Made in Australia initiative.
Ah, the national strategy.
Yep, and the Queensland Advanced Manufacturing Roadmap. So how does local innovation plug into these bigger government pushes and industrial strategies?
Connecting the dots. Local action, national framework.
Precisely. And they'll specifically highlight the work MyCEAS is doing at Energy Queensland, transforming energy systems, infrastructure innovation. That'll be a focus.
Okay.
And finally, a really important one. How do you actually grow the startup scene? Fostering that ecosystem for physical AI companies in Northern Australia. What are the challenges? What are the opportunities unique to that place?
So it's a very rounded perspective, not just the tech in isolation, but the whole economic, industrial, and regional context.
That's definitely the impression. Very holistic.
And you mentioned collaboration earlier. Is there a specific networking component?
Yes, absolutely. There's a networking lunch included, which, is often where the real connections happen, the spontaneous conversations.
True. Sometimes more valuable than the formal talks.
Can be, yeah. And they're really emphasizing those regional partnerships, ACES, IE, ACS, the Cairns Engineering Society. They even provide the website links, LinkedIn contacts, actively encouraging people to connect beyond the event itself.
It really does sound like they're building something sustainable there, an ecosystem.
Yeah.
So let's zoom out again. Why should someone listening, maybe on the other side of the world, care about this specific event in Cairns? What's the bigger picture connection?
Well, like we hinted at earlier, this Cairns event isn't happening in a vacuum. It's a really focused local example of a much bigger global trend.
The physical AI trend.
Exactly. It's about connecting that local ingenuity, the specific skills and ideas in Cairns, to this global conversation and movement around physical AI.
And that's the part linked to NVIDIA's CEO and others seeing this as key.
Right. The very idea driving this event, merging hardware and AI more deeply, is something major tech leaders globally are identifying as, well, pivotal for the future. So Cairns is kind of a microcosm, a local manifestation of this significant worldwide shift in technology.
Okay, that makes sense. It's a local node in a growing global network.
You could put it that way, yeah.
All right, so as we wrap up our deep dive here, what's the main thing you want listeners to take away about this Cairns physical AI event? The key insight.
I think the core takeaway is that Cairns, this spot in Northern Australia, is seriously positioning itself as a vibrant and important hub for innovation, specifically where hardware meets AI.
Right. It's not just talk. There's real activity.
There's real activity, a community coming together, collaboration between different groups, and some pretty forward-thinking initiatives. There's genuine momentum there.
Definitely sounds like it. And maybe a final thought for our listeners.
Go for it.
Well, just think about this fusion, right? Physical things getting smarter, AI interacting directly with the world around us. What did that actually mean for the future?
Big question.
Yeah. How might it change, everything? Daily life, industries, transport, health, energy,
Yeah.
you name it. What new things become possible when hardware isn't just dumb metal and plastic, but has intelligence baked in?
It opens up a huge range of possibilities, many we probably can't even imagine yet.
Exactly. So something to chew on. And if folks are curious and want to know more about the groups making this happen in Cairns,
They should check out the websites. ACS, Australian Creative Electronics Society, IEE, ACS Australian Computer Society, and the Cairns Engineering Society.
good idea. You might find, that the future is being built in some surprising places.
Couldn't agree more. Always worth looking beyond the usual headlines.